I'm Greg Jarrett. You're in the strategy room. The EPA is now proposing the first ever federal regulations to cut methane emissions from the nation's oil and natural gas industry. This move by the federal agency seen as the latest attempt by the Obama administration to implement their climate change agenda. Here now with reaction, political strategist David Mercer, Brad Blakeman. Welcome to both of you. Brad, look, a lot of oil and gas companies are already doing this on their own and doing it successfully, stopping the leaks of methane, recapturing it, reusing it. So this isn't necessarily a bad idea by the EPA, is it?
Yeah, it is, because what they can't do through legislation, again, the president directs his executive authority in his agencies to act beyond that which should be done or could be done by a legislative agenda. And that's the president's modus operandi. That's what he does. And not only is it not needed, but it's punitive against consumers. And the president as much said when he was announcing his policy that prices are going to go up. And it's a feel-good attempt to pander to his base, somebody who he's not been able to deliver for in his 6 years as president.
Yeah, David, I note that oil production domestically has doubled in the last 10 years. Natural gas production up 50% again over the last decade. And interestingly, methane emissions from that very sector have dropped. In fact, they've dropped 15%. So why is it necessary for the EPA to do this?
I agree with you, and why not put the regulations in line with what the actuality and the reality is? And as in response to also Brad's comment about affecting the consumers, how many times have we been on programs talking about gas prices going up under Obama, gouging the consumer? And here we are with gas prices at near all-time lows and production up, as you had mentioned, and I see no threat with putting on the books what is already in actuality happening in reducing methane emissions.
Brad, I think what concerns, for example, the American Petroleum Institute and a lot of companies is that this EPA move is directed toward new oil and gas wells. The fear is pretty soon they're going to start imposing the same restrictions and regulations on existing wells. And then we're talking, what, hundreds of thousands of wells? It could put some companies out of business.
There's no question about it. And to correct the record, is gas prices are up over 100% since Obama took office. So are we comfortable at the way gas prices are? The answer should be no. Are we going to gouge consumers further at the pump and also at home with electric and eliminating coal? The president said he's going to put the coal industry out of business. This is not healthy for our economy, nor does it clean up our planet. As long as China and India and Russia are dirty, we could be the cleanest nation on earth, and it'll make no difference. This is a make the pandering left feel good about a president who has not delivered. So what does he do? He gouges the consumer. He makes them feel good that we're eliminating production. And the bottom line is we're no cleaner than we are as a planet.
But we're not eliminating production, Brad. We just talked about how we've increased production in the United States.
Not if you put people out of business.
Reducing our dependence on oil, imported oil. So, I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, David, let me ask you this. Aren't you a little worried about the EPA being even more involved in methane regulation? It wasn't that long ago, down in Texas, an environmentalist, together with the EPA, faked a methane vent as a water faucet, and they lit it on fire. Well, it was a fraud. It was a methane vent that had been deliberately planted there. And, the EPA ran with that, and eventually they were caught red-handed. They've got a lot of credibility problems, don't they?
Well, I think every agency wants to operate at the top of their game. They're all going to have challenges, and they're all going to have instances where their credibility may be challenged. That does not say you throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that you get a leadership and operation that runs effectively, efficiently, and with integrity, and you seek to the mission of what that agency is vested and charged with doing by legislative fiat, I might add.
All right. David Mercer, Brad Blakeman, guys, good to see you as always.
Thanks. Pleasure.
Good to be with you.
Check out foxnews.com for more on this developing story. I'm Greg Jarrett. Thanks for watching.